the more a martial arts becomes commercialized, the more watered down and impure it becomes, the less effective, the less real. Okay, anything that's mass commercialized, practiced by many people, is going to be corrupted. Alright, so I saw it happen with something like, it happens with all arts that become mass commercialized. So with this whole thing about the MMA, it's no different. It is, the way I see it right now, it's like they're making money. They're doing what they can to make money. And they have different organizations, businesses that will accept MMA fighters to have them compete for money. You know, we know UFC, we know Pride, we know Strike Force, and whatever else is out there. These are all like leagues, different organizations to make money. So you have something like the NBA, for example. To make it to the NBA, it's difficult. You know, that's no question. Any basketball player that makes it to the NBA is at the professional level. And it's very difficult. Not a lot of people could do that. So that's a fact. Now, it is clearly more difficult to make it to the NBA, the NFL, than it is to be able to enter one of these MMA competition businesses to fight for money. It's clearly more difficult. NBA, NFL, you know, those professional sports has been around for so long that now it's more and more difficult to get in there, to make money, to make that your career. So it's clear. But also, even though it's difficult to make it to the NBA, you see, not just because you make it to the NBA. Okay, so just because you make it to the NBA doesn't mean that you're very good at basketball. There's a lot of people sitting on the bench that never even get any playing time. That's a fact. And even if you are on the starting lineup, it doesn't mean that you're that good either. So when you watch this, you'll see that there's certain players that are at another level beyond just the basic of making it to the NBA. Somebody like Michael Jordan, for example, how many players do you see that can do what he does? Out of all the people in the NBA, through all the all the decades that's passed, how many people? You don't see that many Michael Jordans. So just because a person makes it to the NBA, a basketball player, doesn't mean that he's that good. He's good enough to make it, but how about when he's there, like, there's different levels within the organization. And then they got something like the all-star team. So then that's even more seclusive to certain individuals that have to basically meet a higher level in order to make the all-star team. And then even in the all-star team, there's players within the all-star team that are a lot more proficient than others. So there's going to be people, you know, that keep taking it to a higher level. So just because a person makes it to the NBA doesn't mean that he's, so great. And same thing with NFL. A lot of bench warmers, right? There's selected players that are very, very good. And with all leagues. So when I bring it back to this MMA thing, just because you see somebody fighting on television in one of these MMA competitions doesn't mean he's proficient. It does not mean that at all. You have to really watch the person and really pay attention to see if he's actually a really good fighter. And many times you'll see that he's not. You know, they just throw these people in there that are not even that good just to make money. You will not see many Muhammad Alis that fought the way that he fought. That's why he got that reputation. He perfected the boxing techniques to the point where it became an art. You will not see that many Bruce Lees. You will not see that many Jet Lees, Tony Jaa's. You'll see a lot of imitators who try to be as proficient, but they're not. And so that's what I want people to realize, is that, you know, these people that think that, oh, just because this person made it to this fighting on television, all of a sudden he's really proficient. No, it's you have to be able to see, you know, when someone is proficient opposed to somebody that's just pretending. And with the professional sports like the NBA, NFL, you could see it. And these people, through the years of their playing, they gain a certain reputation, and you see, hey, this person is good. But, you know, it's clear that not everybody that enters the NBA is very, very good. And it's going to be even more clear. Just because a person's fighting some MMA competition does not mean he's a martial artist, or he's been spending many years practicing the martial arts, or that he even understands the martial arts. You know, so the more that it's practiced by many, the less special it is, the less less of a talent you'll see. There's gonna be, when there's less people practicing something that's like a high quality art, then there's going to be more of a better representation of somebody at a high level. But once you have thousands of people practicing the same thing, just people are going to label themselves as I practice this, and then there's going to be a huge percentage of people that are going to be extremely inefficient in that specific style or art or whatever. There's going to have to be something that a certain level that a person has to reach in order for them to be recognized as somebody that's reached a high level. And that's what the NBA does. It selects, it's very highly selective on who they pick to be at the level that's required to be at, you know, a professional basketball player. And with these fight competition organizers, they're not being selective as much as they should be in order to really display real martial arts. They're just letting people in because they want to make money. So it's no different than going into a dojo and then the person just accepts anybody that's willing to pay him. Then you will see very inefficient practitioners, because all they need is money to join. But if the dojo master is very selective, then he's going to select high quality disciples to train, and then you'll see a better representation of a true art. So in order to see true art, when it's commercialized, you only see just the surface. In order to be exposed to the true and the real, that's something private. And you'll see this with any art. Once it's commercialized, it loses its essence.